Hello me chums, welcome back to our channel. Today I've returned back to the Friars Goose on the River Tyne. Well chums, it's already been a hectic start. It took us a while to get set up, get the camera rolling and everything. First cast out and the rods are going crazy. Probably waiting, but we are on the hunt for a cod, and I brought some crab, lugworm, that's it, a little bit of coral. But we've been getting bites, just fishing in this small area here. So when I get these in, we'll see if we've got anything, but I'm going to let them breathe, give myself a little bit of time to recover from setting everything up, and I'll get straight back to you. Right, I'm going to get this first one in here. It's nodding away. I think we've got to fish straight away. Oh, yeah, we're in all right. It's quite weighty. Is it a double shot or definitely fish? First cast, not bad. This is on lugworm. Yeah, we've got two white, I think. Oh, got a flounder. Excellent. Quite a good flounder as well. There you go, first cast, small pin, and a half decent flounder. Get these unhooked and give you a look. First cast, 26-inch flounder, up to lugworm, feisty he is as well. Oh. He's determined to curl, that's unusual isn't it? Look. Anyway, 26 centimetre flounder and a whiting. Let's pop them back. Just little lobs, that's all I'm doing. Literally, what, 20 yards? Casting onto a muddy bottom here as well. Got a lot of rubbish in the river because it's a big tide. So I'm going to be wary of the rubbish because on these big tides I will put the tide up here for you, as I always do. You get a lot of flotsam and jetsam coming down. It's mainly rubbish, trees. If you fish the Tyne, you know what I'm talking about. That was nice for first cast anyway. I haven't got the second rod in yet, that's been biting as well. So before I give you any more info, I don't even know if you're straight there. Before I get you any more info, we'll get this one in there. See if we've got anything on that. Do it for you now. Let me bring you forward a little bit, just check. Yeah. I've got a habit of doing that when you drag. Oh, well, we've definitely got weight on this one. Whether it's fish or not, I don't know. I did get bites, but oh yeah, there's something pulling away there. This is quite weighty as well. This is literally first cast for this rod as well. Is it fishing rubbish or is it fish? I don't know. Take your time. Is it crabs? It could be crabs. It's not darting about like the fish. Oh yeah, we've got one fish on. Actually, sorry, we've got two fish on and some rubbish. Two white. Doesn't look very pleasant. But there you have it. I don't know what that is. Bit of plastic bag, I think. Get off. Let's make sure you can see. So there's first cast on the pop-up rig. Little white in there. And a little white in there. Not quite the size we're looking for, but fish all the same. So that's two casts, 4 fish. Not bad at all, eh? My mistake. The covered fish at the bottom was a codling. Little Tommy. Thought it was white. Where's its big brother? That's what we want. Well, that's not a bad start anyway, is it? Fish is a fish to me. Don't care what size they are. I'm hoping for a decent codling. I'm going to be putting some crab on soon. I'm fishing up to high water this time. Last time I fished here, I fished it on the bottom, on the flooded. There was fish there, but I just thought a little bit more depth in here. See what happens. I can cast across the bay behind us here, and I'm actually fishing in what we call a back eddy, if you're not familiar. And what happens is the tide's coming upriver, and it's creating a little eddy here, and it's coming back on itself. Hence, my lines are going that way, even though the tide's coming in. So when I'm casting, I need to adjust for that. The first cast that I put over that way didn't get caught in the back eddy and I had the fish on. Same with this one. So because I've dropped them short, sounds technical, but because I've dropped them short in the back eddy, they will pull that way. I'm just curious to see if I get any baits in this spot, or if I've got to cast past the eddy and get into the main tide run. But that's what we're doing today anyway. So I have been here before. It's still early for this mark. We're still in November 29th today. I was going to go up the coast, but there's an awful lot of matches on today, and the sea's probably good because it's been southerly. So I'm expecting the marks up there to be really busy, and I thought it's not worth the drive up to Northumberland to find that I can't fish a mark because it's too busy with anglers, because there are several clubs that have matches on today. Getting baits again on this right hand rod straight away. Well, you can see that. Turn you around, put you on it. Getting baits on that one. I think it's small codling and whiting at the minute, but I am hoping, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, this is what I'm talking about with this back eddy, if you can see the rubbish. I'll do a shot with my phone so you can see, but the rubbish just comes up, gets caught in this eddy and then comes back. So you have to be mindful all the time of your lines if you fish here, because this rubbish here, this isn't too big, but there is some big logs there. But yeah, there's baits, that's the main thing. It's a short session today. My wife's not feeling too great, and I promised that I'll just come out for a couple of hours, getting baits on the other rod as well. I promised I'd come down for a couple of hours, and then I'll be home. Wife and, well, your family's more important than fishing, so a couple of hours and that's it. To be honest, this weekend, I didn't really feel like going fishing for the first time in a while. I just thought, you know what, I can't really bother to go out, but if I don't, I always end up feeling worse. I don't know if you do the same. I kind of procrastinate at home and think about where I would go and imagine what I could catch, and then think, I don't want to go out, I'm just too comfortable. I think we're all guilty of it at some point, other than the die-hard lads. Getting bites on the other rod as well there now, and this one. Both going. Plenty of fish here in this back eddy. Apart from the die-hard lads who are going to the big cliff marks and getting the big fish out, which hats off to them. If you want to do that, great, but I don't take risks like that anymore. I will be up the coast again. I enjoyed me rattling away. I enjoyed the stint on the rocks the other week. It was nice to get some sizable fish out, but I'm determined to get that sizable fish from these marks on the Tyne. Oh, that's a belting bite. I don't know if you caught that one. That was a corking bite. I'm going to turn you around. Sorry about the angles. There's a corking bite on this rod. Bear in mind, I'm literally 20 yards out with braid and glass tips, so the baits do look monumental. But that was definitely a little codling bite, that. But the fish are there, so happy days. I'm only going to fish to high tide as well, so I'll see what appertains, you know. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're getting out fishing. Today is very mild, 13 degrees. I'm actually sweating with my salopettes on. Bites on that one again. It's frantic, it's frantic. Yeah, very mild day, 13 degrees, and it's forecast to be warmer tomorrow. But we're going to get rain and wind. We're going to get rain and wind tomorrow. I can't even talk today. Too excited because both rods are going. Right, I'm going to tend to these. I'm going to get some bait prepared. Ooh, the wind's picking up. I'm going to put the windshield on the mic because I think you might be picking a bit of that up. Won't be long. Third chuck in. Little coral deckers. Or peckers. White tings. Fourth chuck, little coral decker on the pop-up rig. Well, it's a bit quiet. I'm just like to take the time to thank everybody who's subscribed to the channel. All your comments and likes put the channel where it is. I'm not interested in being a mega channel. I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not in competition with any other channels in the northeast. I want to make that clear as well, because sometimes it can kind of feel that way, and that's not what this is about. My channel's for normal fishermen or beginners who want to get to grips with fishing via the river first and then migrate to the beaches and then possibly the rock ends. My knowledge is limited. I have fished for, give me age away really. I have fished for about 38 years, something like that. I've match fished. I've fished for Whitley Bay. In the past I was in Burden Club for a while, and I was in Walker Angling Club as well. So I have done quite a bit, but I'm not an expert. But I want to make it clear, I do this for people to watch and for me to make a diary. I've always said that. But thank you very much for your subscriptions. It means a lot. Just a like and a comment makes a huge difference to any YouTuber. If you like what you see, try not to be too lazy and not just click that like button or comment or subscribe. I've been guilty of that myself in the past. When I watch, I sometimes forget to press like, but now I know I always go back and make sure that I like their videos if I've liked them. If I've disliked them, that's my prerogative, but I would never say anything about that. I think I was brought up to say, if you've got nothing nice to say, say nothing at all. And I think it's a good adage to have. So while it's a little quiet, I'm going to show you how I bait up my crab when I'm out. What I do is I tend to use the bait mate quite a lot. This is the small, I think it's called the match bait mate, I can't remember. It's the smaller one of the three anyway. And what I normally do, I don't know how well you can see, I'm going to bring this at the camera. So what I normally do is I'll put the hook through the gap like so, and I'll lay the crab just along the back. When I put the crab on, I have it just past the eye of the hook. I'll just grab this thread. Now I use latex. It degrades better than the big hard thick elastics that you see, and this is a fine that I'm using. So what I do is I turn the hook that way. I don't know if you can see, so it's pointing down like that. Lay the crab along the back. Just try and keep the hook centralised and just wind on like this. I don't like to mummify it as such, but I do like to make sure that it's not going to fly off. So a few wraps like so, makes a neat little parcel like that. Hook's here. It's actually got itself caught a little bit. So there's the hook there. You've seen that. And all I do is I put my thumb behind, slide it off. I've got a perfectly presented bait. And that's how I do me crab and also fish baits. Okay, with worm. Now when I use lugworm, I always like to break the tail off. It's just full of sand, so I normally nip that off like that. You're left with the body. I go tail first, like so. You can use a bait needle if you like, but I'm too old school. I'm not used to stuff like that. This is the way it's always been for me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try one single lugworm on there to see if I can tempt a flounder. But you see how the hook point's always prominent. You're seeing that. That's where you have to have your baits. If you're new to the sport, you always tend to overcrowd the gape of the hook, which is not good. So always make sure that you've got the gape of the hook, there's a good gap, and the point of the hook's out so it can penetrate the fish. Job's a good one. Getting a good rattle on this left hand rod, good pull down there. Try and let it develop though, I'm not going to rush into it. I think there's something on, possibly just a whiting, but I'm only fishing really close in. That one's on the lug and crab that I've just put out, what I showed you how to bait up with. I'm hoping that it's a flounder. So I want to get a size flounder out. We've had 3 species today though. I had codling, whiting, flounder. Still going, still there. It looked like a flounder bite. But these days my bite detection skills have gone right down and around. Hardly ever right. I think we should possibly get this one in and have a check of it. Just going to move you around a little bit so you can see nice and clear. I'm just going to check that you can see everything's in shot. Yeah, this YouTube malloc here. It's difficult just to get on with your fishing when you're doing this. You've got to do 5 things at once. There's a big barrel, looks like an old keg, floating down here. Yeah, it's still there. Is it going to touch my line? I've got a feeling that barrel's going to land right on my line. That rod's going now as well. Please don't go on my line, barrel. This rod's gone crazy off shot here. Don't want to get stuck on that barrel though, because that wouldn't be a barrel of laughs. Sorry. Right, there's a fish on here. There's got to be. I'm going to say flounder, but I'm probably going to be wrong. Let's see what we've got. There's not much weight to it. Oh, it's kicking away now. It's going now a bit. Just woke up. What have we got? And you will notice, those of you who are new to the sport, I don't race the reel in. I don't drag the fish through the water 100 mile an hour. It's not good for them. Ah, it's one of the quarry, but not a very big one. Let's pop that on for you. Again, lugworm, codling. Lugworm seems to be doing very well in the river at the moment. To the point where they're ignoring the crab. I've got crab on the bottom hook here. And thankfully, they're not taking it down too deep either. That rod's banging away now. And leave him that little bit lugworm as a present. There you go. Give him a few here. Give him a few here and he'll be there. Lovely little fish. Let's get him back. Like a shot. This rod's going crazy. I think the codling have moved in, the small tommies. Just going to put you on that. Sorry if it's not level. I just want you to see it while I'm getting this rod sorted, because I'm going to leave it. So they're ignoring the crab and they're taking the lugworm, which is not unusual, but still a little bit strange. I've just left you on that rod to watch it for us there when I bait this up. I'm just trying to maximise my chances of contacting the bigger fish by making sure I've got a bait in the water all of the time. I'm just off camera here, I'm just applying some thread, some elastic to the crab, and I'm going to rebait the lugworm. If you remember, I only put one single lugworm on there. Sometimes the size of the bait can make a big impact on your fishing and whether you're going to catch or not. I hope that rod's been banging away there out of sight. But I have learnt from the past that sometimes putting a big bait on doesn't necessarily mean you're going to catch big fish. Depends what the fish have been how they've been feeding, if they're hungry, if they're full, if they're just being greedy. There's a lot of factors. Right, that one's back out. Right, what's been happening on this one, me chums? Anything? I'll move you back a bit so you can see myself. Check the camera. Right, I've got them both in shot there, haven't I? Excuse me, fingers. Has it still been going? Because of the time of the tide, it's always, you're always fighting against time. So what I'm going to do, because I've had baits, this one's going to come in, fish or not, and rebait it. There's something there. Put my money on it. The way the baits were, probably a little Tommy codling, but could be nothing. Could just be rubbish on my line. There's a lot of flotsam and jetsam in the river now. Half a tree there. Nope. Cork and bites as well, but nothing there. You can see, once again, it's the lugworm they've wanted. and the crab is intact. It's saying something, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, corking, but I don't know how they didn't hook themselves. They obviously weren't hitting the crab because that hook point is prominent. So I'm going to concentrate my efforts on lugworm, I think. I've put out some heavier lugworm baits, a little bit bigger. For those of you again who are new, I've been asked a lot hook sizes for the River Tyne. Most of the fishing in the River Tyne's what I would describe as scratchy fishing, especially from North Shields down. The species you're going to encounter are obviously eels, flounder, this high up anyway, eels, flounder, codling, whiting. Close at the mouth you're going to contact the same, but with the chance of haddock. In the summer, mackerel, close at the mouth, dabs, plaice. So there's a lot of fishing here, but my go-to universal size hook is normally a size 2. Now, they're fine wire size 2s, but I've easily landed codling to up to £5 on size 2 hooks. So don't think if you're fishing for bigger fish you have to put massive huge hooks on. It may be the case on the rock ends where you're fishing into kelp and you want a massive scent trail. You've got to match the hook to the bait. That being said, same as the River Tyne, if you want to go for big on like all or nothing, you could put on, and I often sometimes do, you could put on sort of a 2-0 hook. I prefer kind of a Viking pattern, and put big crab baits on in the depth of the winter. If you want to try and connect with some of the bigger fish, you'll still get the little fish taking it. You'll be surprised on how big a hook the flounders and the whiting can take. For the main of me whiting fishing, if I'm going out targeting whiting, I use size 1s, and I use a long shank because they tend to swallow the hook quite a lot, the whiting, because they're really greedy fish. And at least with a long shank, you've got a chance of getting the hook from the top and popping it out. Failing that, you're using a disgorger. But yeah, hope that answers that question. So we're on top water now. Tide's gone slack, bites have eased off slightly. Wasn't a lot of tide here anyway because of that eddy, but there was enough. Just spotted another couple of anglers down up on the schooner there. If that's you, hope you're catching some at me, chum. It has gone a little bit quiet. I think I'm gonna, the next baits I put out, I'm just, because I've got my lugworm to use, I think I'm just gonna put lugworm on all the hooks. Bulk it up a bit. I'm getting a bite on the left hand rod there now. You'll probably not be able to make it out. Small white though, I think. It would be nice to get a decent flounder out. And I generally don't really bother striking them. I let them hook themselves, to be honest. With the braid, when you're fishing braid, you don't strike into a fish anyway, you just reel into it because you've got zero stretch between the fish and your braid. So if you strike too hard, you've got a chance of pulling the hook out of the fish. And it's building up a little bit of momentum there. But because I think that they're whiting, they can strip your bait pretty quick, so I'm putting my casts out every 10 minutes. It's probably hung itself, but always remember, if you're fishing 2 hook flappers, you've got 2 hooks out there, don't strike too early. Just leave it to develop, because you'll probably find if one fish hooks itself up, it will attract other fish in and they will take the other bait. Hence, you get the double hookups. And certainly if you're match fishing, it's a patient game. Being a match fisherman, you have to just let them go, and hopefully you're getting double, triple shots in the match. So every time you're casting, reeling in, you're using your time to its maximum and catching. Got to bait out all the time. We're catching maximum amount of fish on each retrieve. It takes us back to the old days. I did used to enjoy the river matches. I used to enjoy the rock end matches as well, especially up in Newton, Newton and Foxton. Some of my favourite places. Just rarely go up these days, to be quite honest with you. Right, still rattling. I'm going to get this one in. See if I can feel anything first. I was off camera before picked me rod up to tighten the line and something hammered it. It just didn't connect. Yeah. See how I don't strike, I just lift. This has got a plain lead on as well. Quite a bit of weight on this. I'm hoping it's a flounder. I'm literally casting 15-20 yards for these. I can feel every little dive of the fish. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. We've got a double shot, and one's a Tommy and one is a whiting. They're just not the size that we're looking for. There you go, through the lip. I don't know if you'll see that. He's jumped about a bit. Got him through the lip nicely on the lugworm, and the whiting the same, and get them straight back without hurting them. Just need those codling to get a bit bigger. They're loving the lugworm at the moment in the river though. You know, I have to show you the condition of these. They're beautiful to look at. I know I show you them all the time, I'm sorry, but they're just, look at that. It's perfection in miniature, isn't it? And I'm going to leave them these bit lugworm to chomp on to get them back. Oh, he's actually took the crab, the whiting, through the lip again. These little pins. What I'm going to do though, I'm taking the crab off his teeth. It's really nice to see them go back safely though. It really is. Right, I'm going to load up those hooks with air lugworm and fire them out again. So on these kind of tides in the Tyne, the other challenge, I mentioned it earlier, is the flotsam and jetsam. And this is the worst time to, kind of on the ebb, it tends to be terrible. So we've got loads coming down. I'll put another video in, zoomed in, so you can see what I'm talking about as I'm saying this, but you've got loads of surface rubbish coming down. And on some tides it can make it practically impossible to have a line out without dragging weed and stuff in. It's a bit of something you've got to overcome if you do come down on the bigger tides. It's coming dusky now. It's the type of evening that I like. And luckily the tide is taking all that rubbish out in quite an arc around here. So it's gone out. So because I'm dropping short, I'm fine. Tickety-boo. There's the way again. Again, I'm going to leave that in the hope that something decent comes along and takes the hook that isn't getting hammered at the minute. So it's going to be whiting. There's going to be a lot of pin whiting at the minute. I mean, all me videos that you'll probably have seen the last few weeks in the river, the whiting are there. They're starting to get a little bit bigger, but to be honest, the biggest whiting that I normally catch is up near Shields on the walkway. That's the best place for the good whiting, in my opinion anyway. And you've got the chance of picking up bonus haddock as well, but I'm talking like January, February. But by January the whiting will be sizable. If there is the odd one now, and there's actually been a haddock caught that I know of actually further up the river, which is very unusual. You just can never tell. That's why the river's such a conundrum. You've got to take your chances and come out and see what you can catch. You can catch anything. You just don't know. So what I was just saying to you about the whiting, doesn't always work that way. Just got this one. There you go. He's long and lean. Now this is normally what happens. Actually, I'm going to get him unhooked and I'll explain it in a minute. Now, as I was saying, this happens every year. Very long and very lean fish. Seen this year in, year out. They start like this, and by January they're filled out. I'll tell you, I'm just going to measure them for you. I'll be 1 second. So he's 34 centimetres. Hopefully if he survives, by the time winter, January comes, he'll be probably touching on a pound a bit more. Let's get him back. Another double shot of small coral deckers. Plenty of fish there, there's not many big ones. Read me chums, it's on the ebb. It's getting kind of difficult to fish now because of all the rubbish in the river. Getting stuck on stuff. There's some pretty big flotsam coming down. Just missed a stonking bait, definitely a good codling bait. It was a proper thump, good pull down. Thought I had the fish on, just pulled a load of crap in, but it was definitely a bait. It was definitely a cod bait. but it's ebbing quite hard, so don't know how much longer I'm going to get. I will persevere. I've got a bit of bait left. See if I can contact whatever that was. Just had a cracking knock my chums, and I've got slack line as well. Just tightened up a bit. Don't want to be too eager. It was a good pull down. There it goes back again, look. I think he's still there, but I don't want to rush it. Just on the off chance it is something decent. It's the last cast anyway. Last bait's out. Lug and crab. I'm not convinced that it's hooked itself. Dear me, I hate these moments. I'm just going to go for it. Did get a couple of good pull downs. Yep, we're in. Feeling fairly substantial at the moment. It's the last cast, guys, so fingers crossed. Digging in now. It feels like cod nods. No, it's not. It's a decent whiting, but I tell you what, those bites. There you go. I say decent, it's probably 30. Good old rattles though. Good old rattles. And that's on the ebb. I have to say these size 2 Ono hooks are fantastic. I know I'm biased. I do like Ben's stuff, but the Ono hooks are really good. I'm going to quickly measure them before we go. Yeah, I was right. 30cm fish, guys. I'm going to end the session there. It's getting a bit dark now. Nice little fish. I'll show you him. Slim, but very nice. By the time January, February comes, they'll be pretty substantial fish for the river anyway. Great knocks. Had a great session, so let's get them back. Well, my chums, we're starting to lose the light now. It's gone a little bit quiet. We're an hour on the turn, on the ebb, should I say. I've had a couple of cracking bites on the rod. I've had to retire one. I got fastened up and I thought, well, I'm near the end of my session, so I didn't bother rebaiting that one. But I've had some cracking bites on the other rod. I haven't contacted some of them. Probably larger whiting, I would think. Possibly a codling, I don't know. But it's been a great session as always. I enjoy being out. It doesn't matter what I get or if I blank. I'm not really bothered, as long as I get out and enjoy myself. All I will say is if you do come down to this mark, Friars Goose, please tidy up. You know, like if you take whatever you bring with you, take away with you, because it is a bit of a mess at the minute. I'm going to try and take a little bit with this, but I haven't got a bag, so I'll do my best. But it's messy with cans and stuff, and I don't know if it's anglers or just people coming down to, you know, shoot the breeze. I'm not sure. But it is a good mark for you to come down to. Be careful coming down the bank, because you would have to park at the top or at the schooner and walk along. Be careful coming down the bank because it's very slippy. But apart from that, just look after your surroundings when you're fishing. Be thoughtful, you know. But it's been good. I hope you've enjoyed it. Nothing big. We've had size fish, but nothing out of the ordinary. But I just enjoy being out, and I hope that you enjoy it with me, and I hope you will continue to do that. Please don't forget, drop a little like, little comment, subscribe if you haven't. According to me analytics, 67% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. I don't know if that's absolute tosh or not, but if so, if you could just click that subscribe button for us, that would be great. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, I'll leave it there, and until the next adventure, take very good care of yourselves and tight lines.